going to continue now with Dr. Jen Gallup, and she's going to present a naturalistic and innovative approach, virtual mediums to support soft skills. So go ahead and take over.
So our chapter is really focused on how to utilize virtual mediums, MMORPGs, massively multiplayer online role-playing games to support greater acquisition of soft skills and social skills, specifically to kids with autism and other related disabilities. And I'll give you a quick overview of the chapter that we put together. So the purpose of this book really is to make clear the benefits of gaming, as they relate to better outcomes for individuals with disabilities, and how can we utilize these games in the context of a classroom and beyond the classroom. And so the chapter has a framework that we work from, creating concrete social experiences in the context of the MMORPG. And I picked one picture here and put it on the center of the screen. MMORPGs, again, are massively multiplayer online role-playing games, and some examples could be Minecraft, often seen in many classrooms. Outside the classrooms, another common one is the World of Warcraft or the Dungeons and Dragons. And in the context of these social experiences, students have the opportunity to increase their social skills and soft skills through observational learning, engaging in reflective conversations with their peers, and getting feedback from other players within the game, as well as computer-mediated agents. There's repeated trials are a lot easier in the context of the game. When we're looking at evidence-based practices for individuals with autism, it takes a lot of work to set up, the video modeling, the discrete trial training, the social skills groupings. But in the game, there's this virtual environment where the students can go in and have these repeated trials with, students their own age, students around the globe, and they get that feedback while actively experimenting using different strategies to be successful in the context of the game. And many of the skills that are used in the context of an MMORPG, again, that massively multiplayer online role-playing game, are parallel to the skills required for careers in STEM. And some of these skills include time management, task management, critical analytical thinking, working collaboratively within a group. And participants, they're learning to communicate and solve these complex problems in real time with real feedback from people across the globe or within their own community. And so the book really sets the foundation for how do we utilize, or the chapter, I'm sorry, really sets the foundation for how do we utilize these games as a potential to increase the successful transitions. So we really wanted to emphasize that virtual environments can teach these sophisticated forms of thinking using these 21st century digital literacy skills. And one of the challenges that we're facing now is the rising prevalence of autism, and looking at just over $200 billion a year to provide social services to young adults with ISTE here in the United States. And many of the evidence-based practices for young adults with disabilities are slim and not really accessible. And so if we look at some common evidence-based practices that we use today, social narratives, peer-mediated instruction, and video modeling, we found that these are three that we can use in the context of the gaming environment, both in the classroom and outside the classroom environment. And the chapter in the book goes to talk about the implementation. How would you use these MMORPGs in the context of a game by pairing the game with an evidence-based practice, such as looking at peer-mediated feedback in the game. You would have the students join the game, work on the specific social skill, and then have the peer provide the feedback in the context of the game, as well as the teacher can provide the feedback. In the game, there's several tools that students or gamers can use to reinforce their skills in the game and, again, out of the game. Many of the games require students to engage in the game socially within a guild or a clan, and then to earn the extra leveling points or points to complete a quest, they would have to meet outside of the game. One of those is called Hearthstone, and that's paired with the World of Warcraft. And again, many of these gaming interactions support the interactions beyond the content in the classroom. You see today many people are using Minecraft in the classroom to teach. That game requires collaboration, communication, and exchanging of ideas. Another common thing that it helps support is the development of friendships by using that common interest. When they find something that they like, they're more likely to talk to each other and engage in those friendships, and perhaps be more successful in the STEM fields. As we know, many individuals with autism are highly attracted to STEM, and particularly good in the areas of mathematics and science. And so when we really look through the chapter and look at the conclusion of the chapter, again, we really emphasize that virtual online games hold tremendous potential to develop the support networks and friendships, because we know the #1 contributor for individuals without a disability is to develop the support networks and friendships in college. If those are lacking, that is, again, the #1 contributor of them dropping out in their first year. So if it's so difficult for individuals without disabilities, can we imagine how difficult it is for those with disabilities? And in our research, we have found that these games have provided a conduit to develop those support networks and friendships to help them be more successful in the post-secondary setting by developing the soft skills in what we'd like to call a naturalistic setting. As if we look around the globe today, about 200 million people are playing in an MMORPG about 21 hours a week, both males and females equally at about 97%. And so we found that the students, when they learn these skills, they continue to build on these skills in the context of the game to help understand how to communicate and collaborate. One of our participants, and we speak about him in the chapter, he talked about utilizing the skills in the game to help him get through his microbiology class. And it was very much breaking it down into a task analysis and learning how to communicate with people in stressful situations. So that's really what our chapter's about, is just encouraging the use of gaming, encouraging how to utilize games in the classroom, and how to use the games to bridge content outside of the classrooms as well. Thank you so much.